Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy Tuesday. So I know I've been going for a while. I had some problems with my eye, I had some pollen and stuff like that to go to the doctors. But got that taken care of. So I'm back at it. All right. So let's today I really want to talk about your inner voice, right? So let's jump right into it. So, what is your inner voice? Your inner voice is that part of you that gut feeling, that feeling where it's like, you know what, um, this is wrong. This don't feel right. I don't think this person's for me. I don't think I should stay at this job. I think I need to move on. And so, how do you connect to your inner voice? Well, the first thing you have to look at is what is not only your inner voice, but what is the power of your inner voice? What does it do? Well, the first thing that your inner voice does is it helps you to know where you're going. It helps to protect you from you. And so what do I mean by protect you from you? If you don't listen to your inner voice is going to know whether you should go left or go right. It's going to know whether this relationship is working out for you or not. It's going to know when you should leave or when you should stay. It's going to know those things because essentially it's an internal compass just for you. Now, when you don't listen to your inner voice, things happen, right? That's when you're listening to your emotions, right? And so what's the difference between your inner voice and your emotions? Your emotions are based around all of your logical and illogical feelings. Your emotional compass, your inner voice, that's based around protecting you. It's your logical mind on an emotional level. So, and it's connected to a higher power. So whether you believe in God, whether you believe in, just the energy in the universe, whatever it is, it's connected to that. So when you hear it, it's not loud. It's not a loud voice. It's not going to be like, move. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be like, it'll be real quiet. Should I do this? No. And that's it. You be thinking it's going to be all deep, like a whole conversation. It's not. Should I continue to stay in this relationship? You need to leave. Okay. Should I actually continue to stay with this person? No. Should I stay at this job? You need another job. And so when you hear it, it's so quiet, but it's powerful. Now, when you ignore it, that's when your life goes wrong, man. I've seen it on too many occasions with too many people. I've seen it with people where they be like, you know what? I'm going to do what I want to do. And when you live your life in a way where you ignore your inner voice, anything can happen to you. I mean, anything. And when anything can happen to you, it'll change your whole entire outlook on life. It'll change your perspective on life. It'll change how you feel about love and people, and it'll change the beauty in your whole entire existence. But if you don't ignore it, if you actually listen to it, then you will find that, okay, life is a little bit easier. Now, most times for people, it takes a lot of trial and error to deal with this. It takes a lot of ups and downs. It takes a lot of really them losing everything. And then they start listening to it. Now, what allows for you to connect to your inner voice is your trial and errors. So even though your trial and errors, you have to go through them, if you don't learn from your trial and errors, then it's going to be harder for you to listen to your inner voice, because your inner voice is going to essentially protect you from you. Because you ever heard that saying, you're your best friend and your worst enemy? It's true. You are. Listen, I love myself, right? But I'm also my worst enemy because I can get in my mind. I can start thinking negatively about myself. I can start feeling like my existence as a human being is doesn't have value, and I start questioning that. And so when you're going through that, your inner voice is going to help guide you. It's going to say, get up. It's going to say, you need to go for a walk. It's going to say, you got this. And a lot of times people don't really want to listen to that. They want to feel negative. They want to be in that low space, that low frequency. Because if they're in a low space and a low frequency, then, they feel connected to everyone. They feel connected to people. They feel connected to the misery that people go through. See, the one thing about listening to your inner voice is that it sometimes forces you to leave people. It forces you to leave situations where it's quote unquote connected to your identity. So if it's connected to your identity and you leave it, now you feel like, I'm not going to know who I am anymore. But the truth is, your inner voice already knows who you are. It also knows who you're meant to be. That's a funny thing, right? It knows who you're meant to be. It knows the things that you're meant to do. But if you ignore it, then nothing will happen for you. If you ignore it, things will continue to repeat itself over and over and over again. You will continue to feel the misery in your life. You will continue to feel the trials and the errors, because some things you just have to leave behind. Some people, you just have to let them go. And the reason why you have to let them go is because the truth is that they're not going to change. They're just not going to change. And it's not necessarily in a some people look at that and say, oh, well, are you saying that that's a bad thing, that some people don't change? In life is about evolution. It's about growth. It's about, you evolving. Now, who you are and internally, it's okay to be who you are, but you have to grow. And if the person is still that way, or if that's just a part of their character makeup, then you also have to look at, okay, is this going to work for me moving forward? Or do I have to adapt and adjust and figure out a better way to deal with this person? Or do I have to start doing things more for myself so that I don't put myself in situations where I could lose things? And so when your inner voice kicks in, it says, nah, man, you gotta go. It's cool. Or when you're if you're a woman, your inner voice say, girl, please. Now, if every woman knows when you hear girl, please, it's over. Or child, please, that's another one. But whenever you hear it, you know it's time to move on. So, best advice I can honestly give you guys is, when you want to connect to your inner voice, listen to it, because it's going to talk to you. It's going to be quiet. It's going to communicate to you in a way that motivates you, that makes you move, right? And so you want to listen to it because it's the only thing that's going to guide you. You are your best friend, but you're also your worst enemy. And so there's a thing called your higher self. Your higher self is the version of you that is waiting for you at the finish line. But if you didn't have an inner voice, then you would never move. And if you never move, then you'll never get to the finish line. You never get to the finish line, you will never get to your higher self. Because your higher self is the version of you that you dream about. The version of you that you wish that you could be tomorrow. The version of you that motivates you to wake up and fight for yourself, your children, your family, whatever it is. You see that version of you, feel it inside of you. It talks to you. But that higher self, it's also going to be your inner voice. It's going to say, let it go. You've learned your lesson. It's time to move on. You've helped this person. They're okay. They're going to be okay. Trust that you did the best you could do.
It's going to be quiet. And sometimes it's even going to be loud when you're putting yourself in danger. But you also have to keep in mind that listening to your inner voice is the only thing that you need to listen to. You don't need to listen to a bunch of people for their advice and things like that. Listen to your inner voice. It don't matter if it don't make sense to nobody, as long as it makes sense to you. And if it makes sense to you, then you'll enjoy your life and you'll reach your higher self and your higher purpose. All right. Again, I hope this was helpful. I love you guys. I appreciate all the support, and I hope this year is, working out for you guys and everything is just, kicking off the right way. But again, I miss you guys. I'm glad to be back, and I will see you guys on the next segment. Peace.